Okay, let's do this shit. Something I've been thinking about lately, we may have heard in the news there's two Australian guys, Andrew Chan and myuran sukumaran, and basically what they done is they went to Indonesia, bought a whole heap of drugs to smuggle to Australia, heroin I think it was. Yeah, they bought a heap of heroin and they were going to smuggle it back to Australia. The Australian Federal Police were tipped off by someone and basically told the Indonesians, hey look, these guys are smuggling drugs. Now Indonesia is a country with like kind of a very poor human rights record. If I was in the Australian Federal Police and I got told, oh yeah, there's these guys that are going to smuggle drugs to Australia, it's going to be like 18 kilos of heroin or whatever it was, I would have been like, I would have like not tipped them off, and if they got through I would have been there waiting at the Australian airport for them, because that just means like, oh yeah, look at me, I've busted these guys with all this heroin, don't I look fucking good? Yeah, so these guys were the so-called ringleaders of it. And yeah, rather than doing what I would have done if I was the Australian police and being tipped off, and like, you know, used it for my own personal career advancement, which, you know, they I don't know whether it's just laziness or they kind of thought, oh fuck them, you know, if they die, serve them right, you know, because I don't know the people who made the decision, I don't know the reasons they made the decision, but like just from me, if I had to make the decision, I would have caught them myself, because, well, it would have made me look better. I could have, you know, advanced my career a bit. Like the police is like paramilitary, so you got all ranks, you know, you might have got a bit of promotion, bit of pay rise for it, but rather than doing that, they did the fucking really stupid thing of like just telling the Indonesians who they were and when they were coming, so the Indonesians arrested them. There was 9 of them. It's called the Bali 9. They're flying out of Bali or something. Yeah, so they brought all this heroin over from Indonesia. We're going to go to Australia. So, well, Indonesia, I don't know. Like, obviously they have a drug problem there. Like, every country's got a drug problem. So yeah, obviously, like, so they caught him, arrested him, put him on trial, and yeah, pretty much think they executed all of them. I'm not too sure. I know recently, I think last Wednesday, they executed Andrew Chan and myuran sukumaran, which, you know, thoughts with their families, like, you fucking, they didn't deserve it, like, honestly, like, and I'm going to explain why, like, my position on drugs and the death penalty. Like, one, it's like, here's just a basic note. If you believe that capitalism is a great system and, you know, you're just this die-hard capitalist communism and like socialism and like regulating capitalism's bad, you know, you want just free and open markets, I don't see how people like that can be against drugs. Because I mean, that's what it is, it's a free market. Drug dealers are just supply and demand, you know. And here's another thing, like, you know, they had a lot of heroin, which could have killed a lot of people, which is bloody, you know, it's fucking bad to be a heroin dealer. Don't do it. Just don't do that shit. It's not cool. Yeah, so, like, it could have killed a lot of people, but here's the thing, it's, like, in Indonesia they executed this, Sheikh Mohammed fucking what's-his-face. He was, like, done the Bali bombing, so, like, every ringleader of that they executed. And when they did that, I thought, you know, serves them right. These are vile, disgusting people. You know, I'm not in favour of the death penalty, but when they did that I could understand. Like, these vile, disgusting people who killed innocent people premeditatively and used their religion to convince gullible people to blow themselves up and murder a whole bunch of people, you know. When they executed them, I could understand it, you know. Yeah, so there's a difference between being a heroin addict and supplying being a heroin dealer, sorry, and supplying a bunch of heroin addicts with something that gets them killed, and convincing people to strap explosives to themselves, walk into a crowded nightclub, shout out Allah Akbar and blow themselves fucking up. You know, there's a difference between that and giving junkies a bunch of money because it's a bunch of drugs, you know. Because one is, you know, it's just how capitalism goes. If there's a need for something, you know, there's a capital incentive. So people are going to deal drugs, and I mean, even if they killed, like, say it killed 1,000 people, like, you know, it's just unusually pure heroin, and it was just like everyone who used it died. It's still their choice. You know, I don't think there's, especially since they were bringing it to Australia, like, I don't think there's anyone in Australia who doesn't know that heroin is bad for you. I mean, even junkies know that heroin is bad for them. I don't think anyone's like they go, I get it, like, they take it and it feels good. You know, it's probably the main reason anyone does anything. They take it and it feels good. Yeah, so it's like, it's not the same as like killing people. And like, if you say, oh, you know, they're drug dealers and drugs kill people, it's like, yeah, but the people who die from it, it's their choice to take it. And it's not like everyone who, you know, took the heroin would be, like, you know, it's not like everyone who would have took it would have died, you know. But yeah, that's like another reason I can't understand why they killed them. They were like, if Indonesia has a drug problem so bad that you think that they need to kill people as a deterrent because it's just that horrible, they were taking drugs out of Indonesia. This heroin, they were not bringing drugs into Indonesia and killing. They were taking drugs from Indonesia to Australia. That's like why I don't get, you know, even if, you know, if you think the drug problem's that bad in Indonesia that they need the death penalty as a deterrent, which, you know, the death penalty doesn't work as a deterrent, because, like, criminals, when they commit crimes, they're not thinking that, they're thinking, oh, no, I can get away with this, and that's why they do it, because they can get away with it. And these guys thought, oh, you know, they obviously knew people who were high up in the, like, drug supply business. So they obviously knew, you know, maybe 1 out of 10 gets caught, and they thought, oh, you know, we're probably going to get away with it. There's a 90% chance we're going to get away with it. So that's what they were thinking of. They weren't thinking of, oh, you know, Indonesia's got the death penalty, so I won't do drugs here. You know, I won't smuggle drugs. They just thought, you know, oh, it's not going to happen to me. I'm going to be, you know, one of the 9 that gets through. Yeah, that's what was going through their heads. It wasn't, you know, that's why the death penalty doesn't work. I mean, there's study after study. You can look into this yourself. I probably won't post links, but there's study after study saying the death penalty doesn't work precisely of the reason that people aren't thinking about the consequences of the actions. They're thinking about whether or not they can get away with it, or, you know, in the case of like smuggling drugs, they're thinking, oh, you know, I'm going to get this much money for doing this, so I'm going to do it. Yeah, so I really cannot understand why they killed him. Like, and this, like, Jojo Widodo guy, like, honestly, like, fuck you, man. Fuck you in your face. I mean, you fucking, there was, in the round of executions, like, they went all through, they were in prison for 10 years before they got executed, and this guy, when he was granting clemency to people, he excused 2 convicted murderers, and then sentenced Andrew Chan and myuran sukumaran. He didn't give them clemency. Yeah, so to me that's just fucked up. It's just saying like, oh yeah, drug dealing's worse than murder, which, yeah, I don't know what your personal morality is, viewer, but I think most people, if you're like me, like deliberately killing someone with like a gun or knife or whatever this other person did is far worse than like strapping a heap of drugs to your body and going through an airport. This Jojo Widodo guy, like, fuck him in his face, you know, you're just as bad as Hitler. Let me explain why. Like, the only difference between this Jojo Widodo guy and Hitler is scale. Like, Hitler, probably one of the worst people ever to live, if not the worst. Depending, like, there are other dictators who have killed more people in history, but if you're a dictator, like, and you kill people, especially like what Hitler done, you know, probably the worst person in history. And what he done, if you boil down to it, was he was playing politics with people's lives for his own personal gain. He got there and he did all these fucking speeches about how bad the Jews were, and then he started fucking killing them off. And like a lot of time it was done in secret, but he was like Jew hating and Jew shaming, you know, for his own personal political gain, which to me is exactly what this guy's done, except he's been like, I could say even like, the scale's not as bad as Hitler, because I think it's like 9 people he refused to pardon and let die on his watch. Like the previous Prime Minister of Indonesia, there's a sausage dog, oh my god. Like the previous Prime Minister of Indonesia, I hope that dog's going to be alright. I saw the garage door up there, so hopefully his owners are watching him. Yeah, the previous president of Indonesia, like he like pardoned a lot of people from execution. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he didn't kill anyone under his presidency. Like, execute anyone under his presidency. I thought he didn't let any of them go ahead, like there was a postponed to. And like Jojo Widodo's like he's come to power, right? And yeah, so it's had this get tough on crime, you know, iron-fisted, hammer, you know, approach to fucking everything, you know. And I think what this is boiled down to is the Australian government didn't want him to do it, though Tony Abbott didn't want him to do it, you know. I think this was a bit of like, just like, you know, fuck you Australia, we're going to kill these 2 people because we want to and you can't stop us. I think there was a bit of that. I think it was a bit of a political chest puffing. Oh yeah, it's just not, it's really unacceptable what the Indonesians have done. And like, when I say Indonesians, it's just the Indonesian government and the Indonesian justice system. Like, you know, the people of Indonesia, there's a lot of them who didn't want it to happen, and there's a lot of them who are standing there, like burning effigies of like fucking drugs and that, and like calling for the death penalty. So it's like, yeah, but, and they're probably, you know, as bad as people who supported the Nazi party. But like, generally, like, if you're Indonesian, like, I don't got nothing against you, you know. You know, you've got as much control over what your leader does as I do over what a Tony Abbott does, which is like not a lot, like, you know. So yeah, in conclusion, Jojo Widodo fucking worse than Hitler. Andrew Chan, Myuran Sukumaran didn't deserve to die. Death penalty's bad. I don't think drug smuggling's that bad. If you got any comments or questions, or you want me to elaborate further, let me know down in the comments. I really appreciate that. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for sticking with me. I know it's been a pretty serious vlog. Well, I'm usually sort of perpetually upbeat, you know, and yeah, I just wanted to get my opinion out on this. Thanks for sticking with me, guys. Stay well, stay dangerous. And this is the Danger Eagle, out. Don't forget to subscribe.